To Rav Berg's weekly message. In this week's portion, Mikéts, Rav discusses Joseph's elevation from our world of chaos to the higher realm known as Yesod. While in prison, Joseph's ability to decipher dreams came to the attention of Pharaoh. Joseph successfully explained the meaning of Pharaoh's dream and was appointed his chief advisor.
The lesson here to be taught is that we're not referring to Joseph. We're referring to how Scripture ties this little story around Joseph to indicate that when we can achieve a connection with the flawless universe and we abandon that effort, or we just are simply maybe too lazy to pursue that effort. Maybe it's, in fact, very time-consuming, or it's too difficult, and it may be, to change certain physical, natural laws of this universe. And there are many that we have assumed that these are irrevocable forms of chaos that we cannot overcome. And the answer is no. There is nothing in the way of chaos that is beyond the reach, beyond the grasp of the individual with proper connections, with the opportunities to reach out. Now that we have the Zohar, we have so much information on how we no longer have to be totally dependent upon or even governed by anything and everything that exists on this Malchut level, on this level of existence where we find ourselves. And therefore, the idea here is that, no, didn't refer to Joseph. Joseph, Scripture makes it so obvious that he could have commanded his own ticket, so to speak. So it was far and beyond Joseph who could be and would be limited by the limitations of the physical reality. No. It is rather a guideline, yardstick, how we can measure, well, how much do I have to depend on others? How much is required of my efforts to seek my own freedom? If I completely abandon, if I completely give up that responsibility of making certain that effort of achieving total freedom from chaos by connecting with the world of Zeir Anpin, that flawless universe, which Joseph is that furniture of that wonderful nourishment known as the life force of God. He is our direct link. He is Yesod. Yesod making this contact with Malchus, the world that we live in. That if we do not achieve the desired results after making every effort, making all the connections necessary to achieve freedom, and we still feel ourselves boxed in within this confine of chaos, pain, and suffering, then of course, if there is somehow how we can alleviate that condition, if there's somebody that we could reach out and ask for a lending hand, of course, Scripture is not frowning upon that kind of effort. But where we have made no effort, but just because it is an accepted rule, you're in jail, you're in chaos, you're in pain and suffering, and it just doesn't seem to be any way out to take this defeatist attitude, then price to be paid for that attitude, meaning the doctor said, no way to make or achieve freedom out of that particular illness, that condition, which already there's a prognosis, nothing can be done. This is what the Torah wants to caution us. That remember, there is no such thing, such condition, unless it is so severe. Very rarely will we ever be placed in a position where there is no way out, that we cannot escape because society has accepted these conditions as irreversible. Once Joseph had achieved that level of Yesod, meaning he had gone out of the realm of Malchut, he had elevated himself beyond the realm of chaos, pain, and suffering, then there was an open ticket to no matter how simple or how slight his contribution to Pharaoh might have been, this was a foreordained story, because in effect what Pharaoh did was place Joseph in charge to become the provider on this physical level for the necessity of the world to continue with sustenance. But this was already foreordained. When Joseph achieved that elevated state of consciousness into what is known as Yesod, meaning he literally bootstrapped himself right up into and out of the realm from chaos into the realm of a flawless universe.
For more on this topic, we recommend reading the Rav's Essential Zohar,